Imagine a world where humans and animals could communicate effortlessly. What if we could understand what your dog is thinking when it wags its tail, or know exactly what your cat wants when it meows at you? The idea of humans talking to animals has been a dream for centuries, but what if this dream became a reality? Today, we'll explore the profound implications of such a possibility. Currently, animals communicate in a variety of ways. Some use vocalizations, like the howls of wolves or the songs of birds, while others rely on body language, scent, or even electrical signals. Dolphins use clicks and whistles. Elephants produce low-frequency sounds that travel over long distances. And even ants communicate through pheromones. However, all of these forms of communication are vastly different from human language, which is rich with nuance and complexity. So, what would it take for us to understand animals? One major challenge is that animal communication doesn't work like human language. While humans have developed intricate linguistic systems, animals rely on different cues that we don't naturally interpret. Researchers have already begun decoding some animal signals. For example, scientists have been studying the vocalizations of whales, dolphins, and elephants, and progress has been made in understanding the emotions or intentions behind certain sounds. But the reality is that we are still far from having a full dictionary of animal communication. It's not just about understanding individual calls, but also about interpreting the context, emotions, and even the complex social structures animals live in. If we could talk to animals, it would undoubtedly change the way we view our relationship with them. Right now, we are aware that animals are sentient beings with thoughts, feelings, and needs. But without the ability to communicate directly, we can only guess what they may want or need. We could no longer have to rely on assumptions. We could ask a pet dog what it feels when it barks at the door or how it reacts to different situations. We could understand the emotional states of animals and respond accordingly, adjusting our treatment of them. The ethical implications would be massive. For instance, think about the treatment of animals in zoos, farms, and research facilities. If animals could communicate their desires and concerns, it would force us to rethink the ethical foundations of industries that exploit animals. Could we justify keeping animals in captivity if they could tell us they were unhappy? What about factory farming, where animals are often kept in conditions that cause them distress? Having animals express their feelings and preferences could change how we view animal rights and force a reconsideration of how we treat them. For pet owners, the impact would also be profound. People already form emotional bonds with their pets. But what if we could understand exactly what our pets wanted or felt? It could change the way we care for them, reducing stress for both animals and owners. If we knew exactly why a dog is afraid of a particular person, or why a cat doesn't like a specific food, we could address these issues more effectively. The possibility of truly understanding their needs would improve the well-being of domesticated animals worldwide. It's beyond pets. The ability to communicate with wildlife would have even greater implications. Conservation efforts could be transformed if we could directly ask endangered species what they need to survive. Right now, much of our conservation work is based on observations and assumptions. We track the movements of animals, study their behavior, and make educated guesses about the challenges they face. However, these efforts often fall short of addressing the true needs of animals. If we could ask an elephant what it thinks about the destruction of its habitat, or find out how a species of whale is impacted by climate change, we could make conservation strategies far more targeted and effective. For example, Elephants might be able to share the effects of deforestation on their migratory patterns, and marine species could inform us about the state of ocean pollution. If we could understand the threats they face firsthand, we could act much faster to mitigate damage. This kind of communication would give us a new perspective on the environment, one that is informed by the very creatures that live within it. It could even help us address ecological issues more efficiently, as animals could tell us which environmental changes are most damaging and how we could prevent or reverse them. But while the benefits are clear, there are also numerous challenges. Understanding animal communication would not be easy. Even if we could decode the vocalizations or movements of animals, interpreting them accurately would require us to account for cultural differences between species. Just as human language varies across cultures, animal communication likely varies significantly across species, with each having its own set of signals, contexts, and meanings. For example, a bark from one dog might mean something entirely different than a bark from another dog, depending on the situation. Furthermore, there are ethical concerns that we would need to address. If animals could communicate with us, it would raise important questions about their autonomy and freedom. What if a pet, for example, expressed a desire to leave its home? Would we be able to honor that request? Or would we feel compelled to keep it? What about animals in captivity who might express distress or frustration? Could we justify keeping them in conditions they find intolerable if they could voice their discomfort? The reality of understanding animals at this level might force us to reconsider many of the ways in which we use them for research, food, and entertainment. Despite the complexities and challenges, the potential of talking to animals is undeniably exciting. It could lead to a deeper understanding of the animal world and revolutionize our relationships with the species we share the planet with. For instance, humans and animals could potentially work together in new ways. Imagine the possibility of guiding an endangered species to a safer location or assisting animals in distress. Not only would it allow for better treatment of animals, but it could also create a more harmonious coexistence between humans and wildlife. Ultimately, the ability to communicate with animals would open up new possibilities in science, conservation, ethics, and even our daily lives. It would be a groundbreaking step forward, allowing us to bridge the gap between species and understand the minds of those we share the world with in a way we never have before. While this technology may be far off, it serves as a reminder that there is still so much we have to learn from the creatures around us, and that the potential for new discoveries is limitless.